Welcome to an exciting new edition of Comics Should Smell Good, and it's smelling even better because Casey's missing this week.
Right? I can actually breathe through my nose now? Oh, such a relief.
A huge thank you to everybody who came out and supported us in the store or supported us online and sharing this word of Hometown Heroes. It was a huge smashing event. Maybe that's where he is. All the success went to his head, but we had a pack store, cool vibe, great independent local comics being sold, and
hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
Here, okay, that's Casey.
Oh
my God, he's signed a contract. He's exclusive.
Oh,
okay.
He's exclusive. Well,
I guess he can't work for us anymore.
Yes. So,
that explains that.
Join us on Facebook or Twitter, and where do you think Casey has ended up? Who should replace Casey? Maybe Sam, the video monkey, could get cleaned up and join us on screen.
Or we could just clone me, and there'd be two of me and one of you, and we would both be younger than you.
I'm already big. Thank you. I'm already big enough for two. So anyway, let's kick it off with our new comics of the week. Go for it.
All right. Speaking of younger, actually, from Marvel, we have the younger version of Spider-Man, also known as Spidey. A sort of retelling of the earlier Steve Ditko, Stan Lee tales of Spider-Man. This is the 5th issue, which in the original series saw Spider-Man face off with Dr. Doom, which totally happens in this issue, and it's awesome. Do you see this cover? Do you see this goddamn cover? This is Nick Bradshaw drawing one of the most glorious Dr. Dooms that we've seen since Secret Wars. I don't care about that suit wearing a handsome face pretty boy Dr. Doom. This is Victor Von Doom right here.
I got a double hit here. This is from the new book from Brian Wood and Gary Brown, who brought you the Massive. They've teamed up for a brand new image book. This is called The Black Road, a Magnus Stalag mystery. It's basically, if you love Northlander, this is Brian Wood doing his Viking awesomeness again. It's kind of this rebellious anti-hero who risked war to kind of reclaim his honor when some bad guys do some bad things in old Viking Norway. Spectacular art, really cool. I actually got this at Image Expo and Comic Con and read through it, and it's awesome. Really cool art. And the same team who brought you the Massive, another book, Wood and Brown. This is the Massive, the Ninth Wave. This is kind of stories about the crew of Callum, Israel, and his team before the events of the Great Quake. So it's kind of cool, one shot, what happened to them, how did they get to where they are. So it's kind of a prequel, a really cool prequel. Unlike some prequels, because some prequels don't always turn out good.
Which ones are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you should take it away.
Yeah, I will take it away and hand it over to Pete Tomasi and Ian Bertram, two of my current favorites in the comic industry, even though Ian Bertram's done all of, I feel 3 comic books that have actually ended up in stores. He did a Secret Origin story for Damian Wayne, he did an issue of Batman Eternal, and then he had the graphic novel The Bowery Boys from Dark Horse. That was the last year that came out, I believe. But he's teamed up with Pete Tomasi, who honestly is one of the best writers at DC these days, and he has been for a few years, to do a sort of new take on the Sarah Winchester story with House of Penance. It's going to be a new miniseries. I feel like it's going to go maybe 5 issues, I want to say, from Dark Horse. And if you're not familiar with the story, Sarah Winchester is of the Winchester gun heir fortune family. And she came down with a serious case of guilt about the, I want to say billions, but I'm going to say thousands maybe at that point, of people who were killed by Winchester guns. So she built her house in a fashion that only the ghosts of those that were killed by her guns could traverse it. We're talking stairwells going into ceilings, doors that don't go anywhere, trapdoors all over the place. It's a crazy house, and this is a crazy comic. Ian Bertram just takes the architecture of the actual Winchester house and distorts it even more, puts it through a dolly lens, throws some weird Frank Quitely hatching in there, and covers the whole thing in blood. It's great.
Wow. It's clobbering time! It's also, might be loving time.
Oh my.
Exactly.
Hopefully the two are not
Hopefully
at the same
separately,
time.
but in the same book maybe.
Unless they're into that. I don't know.
Guardians of the Galaxy, here's the thing. If you're missing Fantastic Four, and who isn't missing Fantastic Four after the Secret Wars? But it's kind of cool that Ben Grimm got to go out. he's a pilot again. He's hanging out with Rocket Raccoon and all the gang, doing all kinds of crazy adventures. So this is kind of like Ben Grimm the Barbarian on an alien world, clobbering a whole lot of Badoon. And this is kind of the aftermath of what's been going on with, first Peter Quill, he left the group to take over his father's empire. Now the empire's in chaos again. Rocket's on the run. And it's all leading up to how it's going to tie into Civil War II. Even in space, Civil War II is going to strike out. And even there's a hint. Some of my favorite Marvel aliens, not Banoon, they're going to be coming up in the next issue. So this is a great book. This is a great spotlight for Ben Grimm, who finds love and barbarianism and lots of clobbering.
I feel like love in space has never really ended well for Ben Grimm.
It never does.
Love in general. But I've got another Marvel book for you here. This is the first issue of the new Moon Knight, #1, by Jeff Lemire and Greg Smallwood. Now, I'm like many of you in that I loved the Warren Ellis Moon Knight series, and I'm also like many of you in that I jumped off of the series as soon as Warren Ellis was off of it. So I didn't actually get to see Greg Smallwood on Moon Knight the first time around. Now, apparently I must have missed something awesome, because this first issue is phenomenal. Not only does he have his own super unique, really nice dry brushy in places style, with really great use of negative space, but he also does one of the best Bill Sienkiewicz impressions I've ever seen in the first 5 pages of this book. As Moon Knight's sort of tripping out, recalling his past to a psychiatrist, because I don't know if you noticed from the cover, but he is locked in a mental institution right now. And we all know you can't put crazy people who can kill you with their thumbs in prisons, especially not mental prisons with straitjackets. That just doesn't end well with anyone. And of course, especially not the orderlies.
Moon Knight, I think, of all the Marvel characters, he has been given the most shots at a series by some of the biggest names in the industry. I mean, people love Moon Knight. I mean, I don't know, it kind of catches on, but anyway, people think he could be the next Marvel Knights Netflix series. Who knows? I remember my first Moon Knight was actually, you're gonna love me saying how old I am. It was the black and white back issue of the Hulk magazines, way back in the day. And then I remember the Charlie Houston, David Finch.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
That was very strange. But Jeff Lemire, I'm in. So anyway, now back to something else. Black Canary. This is Brendan Fletcher. This time he's joined by Moratat, a Seattle-based artist. I'm correct on that, right?
Yes.
He's one of the guest artists. As guess who else? Batgirl, Barbara Gordon is re-teaming up with Dinah Lance as she's trying to figure out the mystery of. She was forced to join this rock and roll band actually called Black Canary. How meta is that?
Wait, forced to?
Kinda, sorta.
Weird contract obligation situation.
Weird contract, yeah. But it was all good. So she could help this young kid who was in the band, and it's all kinds of weird, crazy mystery, and it was just a lot of fun, and it's just been a rock and roll attitude. I really miss Annie Wu's art, but this is pretty cool. A pretty cool cover here, and it's building up, of course, to the big finale of this issue because it's going to wrap up, and then when DC Rebirth comes, there's a tease of that coming up. They're going to be together in Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. But this is building up to the big finale of Brendan Fletcher's awesome run with Dinah Lance as a kick-ass rock and roll kung fu queen of DC. Take that.
And my next pick for you is from Image here. This is the new issue of No Mercy, #9, by Alex DeCampi and Lee. Yeah, Jen Manley Lee. Wow, the colors was listed first. That's crazy. I've never seen that before. And Carla Speed McNeil. This is going to be a super intense issue right here. The whole series has been really, really intense. This whole last arc since they came back from their first break. You'd think that throwing the kids off of a cliff in a bus and letting coyotes attack them and drug cartels attack them would be enough, but somehow she's found even worse fates for everyone in this arc. And one of the main characters they've been focusing on lately, Charlene or Sebastian, depending on who you ask, has had a really, really, really tough time with their family, with the situation they're finding themselves in, with their brother in particular, and now we're going to learn more of their story, which is really, 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 really rough. It's touching on a lot of issues, family abuse, self-abuse, gender issues. It's all really, really, really intense. But Alex DeCampi has handled the whole series with such tact, but also such sleaze at the same time that it's going to be a great time going through it anyways.
If you were at a con and Alex DeCampi is on a panel, go. I don't even care if you like the topic. I'd actually like the topic. She fascinated me. I could just listen to her talk forever. She was amazing. She was with the audience. She was just very compelling. I was fascinated by her. I just wanted to go buy several of her books after that. So anyway, there you go.
Which you should too.
Which you should
all of her
too.
books are great.
Exactly, and they're all
She's not
right
even
here.
paying us to say this.
She's not. I was just absolutely fascinated by her at Comic-Con.
Although maybe she should.
Perhaps, I don't know. Mockingbird, if you're already missing Bobby Morse and Lance Hunter because they left Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the television show, they're getting ready for their Marvel's Most Wanted pilot show that might become a series. Anyway, this is awesome. This is actually, there's something about this that's not really for kids. Because they go into the London Hellfire Club, and this isn't like the Hellfire Club from like the X-Men. This is like the kind of,
Oh my god, you can say it's a bondage club.
It's a bondage
Man.
club. Lance Hunter's in a
say, not
bondage club.
shout.
It's for all you people out there who's excited about seeing Lance Hunter in a bondage club. You wouldn't see that on the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But it all started with this weird medical mystery inside this S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of hospital, kind of like a clinic for superheroes. And there's some weird medical mystery inside of Bobby Morse, and she's trying to figure it out. And of course, it leads to the Hellfire Club of London and corgis and zombies and all kinds of other crazy stuff. Chelsea Kane, she's a novelist. She did the big one shot. It was so popular they gave her a series. It's awesome. And Kate, I'm gonna get your name right. Niemczzyk. You're an incredible artist. So this is definitely a book you should check out. Mockingbird.
Also, ping pong balls. I don't know what it means either, but it means something.
We're in the Hellfire Club.
And my last book for you here is I Am a Hero. Dark Horse is presenting thank you. Presenting a really, really, really popular manga. So popular, in fact, that I guess it has a movie now. I wasn't aware of that until I read the back of this book, but it does. This is about a somewhat unhinged manga artist who finds himself witness to the outbreak of a zombie apocalypse and figures, hey, this might be my time to become like a protagonist of a story, just like a character in the stories that I've been spending my whole life crafting. You know what else he has, though, besides a chance to become a hero? A gun. Something that most people in Japan don't. And the art in this book is also just plain incredible. The perspective they get on some of these panels, awesome. The gore going on here, just great. There may be a zombie childbirth scene in here. I'm pretty sure that's what I was looking at, but I didn't want to stare at it much longer. Either way, these big volumes from Dark Horse are going to have 2 volumes of the normal series in them. So it's going to be a double value here. Yeah, buy it. Zombies. You like zombies, right?
Of course you do. And I bet you like droids. Do you like droids? Star Wars literally brings people together. James Robinson, Tony Harris. I did say that right?
Yes, yeah.
What
were you not going to say right?
I had something in my head that just kind of messed me up. Of Starman, of DC Starman, they are back together again for a one-shot starring C-3PO, the coolest protocol droid in the entire galaxy far, far away. How did he get the red arm in The Force Awakens? How did he get to where he was with the Resistance, as it's now called, in the new continuity? This is what a beautiful cover, by the way. This is a wonderful one-shot telling the story of C-3PO and by James Robinson and Tony Harris.
Oh, so you're saying I can just read that comic? I don't have to play Ground Zeroes or anything to find out about the arm, or?
No, and there's lots of droids, lots of weird droids, lots of cool droids you've never seen before, designed before, so it's kind of cool. So have a droid of a good time here. So that is for us. That's all for us this week. Have a great week. Comics to smell good. Lots of more new comics here. And what's the mystery of Casey? Share your theories with us.
Yes, please share your theories. I really would like to find a replacement for him, because as much as my nose is really liking this lack of a smell here, we do need another anchor. Before you jump to your keyboards, though, I do have 2 special announcements for you. Coming up on, I want to say April the 27th, we're going to have a signing with 27th. April the 27th, we're going to have a signing with Dread sequel comic book writer Arthur Wyatt in shop. He'll have copies of the comic for you to buy for him to sign. It'll be awesome. He's done 2 in the past. They've done really well. They've been awesome. They've had great art, really cool expanse on the story, because we all know we want a sequel to Dread. And secondly, we mentioned this earlier in the show, but DC is doing this whole big thing you might have heard about called Rebirth, and we have the inside scoop right here. This is the DC Comics Previews book. It's got everything you need to know heading into Rebirth. Just enough to keep you sated for that huge 80-page, $2.99 book from Jeff Johns.
Featuring one of the most shocking moments per Dan Didio in his tenure at DC Comics.
Wow, and this is from the man that was going to kill off Nightwing.
And like one of the biggest mysteries ever in DC Comics history, and how they explore it.
Yeah, and the best part of all, it's free.
It's free. It's like a free early comic book day.
That's it.
We're just going to drop the mic down if we had a mic.
We're done. I'm out of here.